Hey, this is Brindle Wolf. You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action, with programs to spark your growth, lift your spirits, and help you rise into your potential. Rise Awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken and climb. Rise Awakenings, now is the time. Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
Start with the quiet parts, the things you hide behind your laugh. Sit with the ache a while. Let every question breathe and ask, who was I trying to be? Who am I when I just stay? Name every tender scar and let them have their say. Till your heart carries you. This is the blue.
Pages of old beliefs, stories that kept you playing small. Lay them out on the floor, see which ones never fit at all. Offer your younger self a kindness you never. Soil of your soul.
Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Bloom. So if you're new here, the wisdom that I share in this podcast is based on my personal experience and knowledge from my education and healing journeys. And I, of course, share it in the greatest degree of love. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. The chat questions we'll get to as soon as we can in order in which they receive. So think of your questions as I'm talking and plop them in there for Micah. Thank you, Micah. The man behind the curtains, producer extraordinaire. Thank you for all that you do. And just a reminder, this is a judgment-free, safe space, and I am so blessed and grateful to have you all here with me, whether you're here in the chat live or watching me on the replay. Thank you. And if you feel like diving deeper into your own personal growth and evolution, you can find me on the socials and on healingrose.org. Let's dive in. So, today, we still have this wonderful, fabulous energy to work with. And the energy I'm talking about is the summer solstice energy. It's the day before, the day of, and the day after. And today's the day after. I love that we have like little 3-hour windows of a portal. All right, so as we gather here in this summer solstice portal, the longest day of the year and the moment when the sun reaches its greatest expression of light in the Northern Hemisphere. So you've been warned, we're going slightly woo-woo, just slightly. So across countless spiritual traditions, this turning point has been honored as a sacred invitation to recognize the light within ourselves and within all beings. So, as we reflect on the outer light of the sun, we are invited to contemplate the inner light of our own consciousness. Many traditions call it unity consciousness, Buddha nature or Buddha consciousness. There's Krishna consciousness. There's the higher self. And there's even Christ consciousness. So all of these different names that encompasses what we're going to call it today is simply light consciousness. So that's what we're going to call it today. But just know it's all that same beautiful light within energy. And why this portal is so important for us. So many metaphysical traditions hold that the solstice opens a portal through which divine celestial energy floods this planet. And this light is understood as consciousness energy, a symbol of awakening and the ultimate triumph of light over darkness. In other words, your healed self versus and over your shadow self, which is the healing work that we're doing. So the summer solstice is considered to be one of the most powerful of the 4 great healing portals of the year, alongside with the winter solstice and, of course, spring and autumn equinox. And right now, also, happens to be astrologically aligned. Jupiter, the planet of luck, and Mercury, the planet of communication, are in super, super favorable alignment, making this particular empowered time for speaking what's in your heart and sharing your truth with loved ones. Whew. And because it was yesterday, it also coincided with Father's Day. So you have that weaved in there. There's a layer of that divine masculine energy and that ancestral healing that's happening there. So this specific solstice carries a very deep, heart-centered energy. It is a powerful time for the healing at a deeper layer and a deeper level, for self-realization, for the gratitude, for your soul's purpose, and for the unapologetic embodiment of your own light consciousness. So we're gonna take this portal, we're gonna run with it, and we're gonna use it for our healing advantage. It's set up to support us right now. And I'm not saying you're gonna miss it if you don't catch it right now. Right now, meaning in this now. So through space and time, you're going to tap into this energy. And that's a thing for the woo-woo, for the woo-woo folks out there. What is light consciousness? Let's all get on the same page, because this isn't a term that's widely used. I'm throwing it out here. So light consciousness is not limited to any particular religion, denomination, or historical figure. In many metaphysical and spiritual traditions, it's referred to as the awakened awareness of our unity with the greatest degree of love, with divine, with source, with all that is, right? With the mighty I am, or whatever resonates with you. It is the realization that beneath our differences, our stories, and our identities, we are all expressions of the same sacred source. Light consciousness is expressed through unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, service to others and ourselves, humility, wisdom, non-judgment, and the recognition of the divine in all beings, including ourselves. So we can ask ourselves spiritually, how can I allow my inner light to shine more fully? How can I become a clearer expression of love, compassion, understanding, and presence? The invitation is not to become something new. The invitation is to remove whatever obscuring that light that is already within you. So at solstice, the outer sun reaches its fullest expression. Let that sink in and notice the sun does not choose where its light falls. It shines on everything and everyone. Unconditional love works the same way. It does not ask us who deserves kindness and compassion. It simply radiates. Of course, now, your participation in particular people and places and things is your choice. But let's talk about how we more deeply embody our light consciousness. I know you've heard me say these things before, but I want you to tie it into the energy that we're in with this summer solstice. So you have to become the light that you wish to see. Don't wait for the world to change around you to open your heart. Ask yourself, can I be the peace that I'm seeking? And if you are trying to be the peace that you're seeking, ask yourself, in what ways can I bring more peace into my experience? Can I become the kindness that I wish others would show? So how can I be more kind and more in service out there in the community? The solstice reminds us that light naturally radiates. It's not a struggle to shine. So our work is simply to allow it and give ourselves permission to be it. And we also need to practice radical compassion. That's the second thing, practicing radical compassion, because compassion is love in action, right? So let's notice ourselves. Notice where we can soften our judgment of ourselves and of others. Notice where we can listen more deeply to ourselves, our inner voice, and others. Notice where we can extend more understanding. My favorite analogy for this one is road rage. See everyone from the concept and idea and beginning of everyone's good. So if someone cuts you off, maybe they have to rush through traffic to get to the hospital. Maybe they have to go poop. Who knows? So offering grace to ourselves and to others is how we express that compassion. So compassion doesn't mean you have to agree with everything. Like I mentioned before, your participation is your choice. It means just remembering the humanity and the divinity within each and every one of us. Compassion means remembering the humanity and the divinity in each and every one of us. Okay? Not agreement. You don't have to like. You don't have to participate. Just recognize. Let what is hidden come to light. That's number 3. What's hidden in your shadow? This extreme light energy that we have and the light that we have within, we have the power to illuminate what needs to be loved. So this energy illuminates everything, okay? Everything. Spiritually, old wounds, fears, patterns, belief systems that become more visible, everything. There's no hiding. So rather than resisting, the light consciousness energy within our hearts invites us to meet them with love, Okay, so no more asking yourself what's wrong with me and whatever variations that comes out. Instead, what inside of me requires more love? What inside of me requires more of my compassion? Okay. Number 4, live from the unity space rather than the space of separation. One of our core teachings in light consciousness is that when we perceive ourselves as completely disconnected or just disconnected in some ways, fear grows in those areas. When we remember our interconnectedness, love naturally arises. We are invited to ask ourselves, how can I strengthen my community? Do I have my community? Am I seeking a community? And align yourself with that community and learn how you can serve each other. How can I contribute rather than withdraw? Are there some areas of your life where you're taking more than you're giving? Can there be more balance? Understanding that unity, that interconnectedness, and the balance is required for all parties, right? So how can you recognize the sacred of those around you, especially the crappy people? Because there's tons of them. Recognizing part of the same source and allowing each individual to be each individual, reminding ourselves our participation is a choice. We don't have to agree or like, and we can set boundaries. But the idea is the understanding that every act of kindness becomes an expression of light consciousness in your community. So create a community that aligns with you and be the light. You will create a community by being the light, because those that are meant to resonate with you will find you. Okay? You will inspire some and irritate others. So remind yourself, your participation is your choice. That doesn't stop you from living in that unity-centered mindset. Okay? Oh, and I learned a new word, so you're going to learn a new word. It's boon. B-O-O. Wondering, well, what's a boon? A boon is something highly beneficial, a blessing, an advantage that improves a situation or makes life easier for people and things. The highest expression of spiritual awakening is not what we know, it's how we love. So at this time of maximum light energy, how can I be a blessing to my family? Okay, this is your homework questions. How can I be an asset to my community? How can I benefit the earth? What are we doing to help the earth? Pachamama. How can I be a boon for myself, to myself? How can we benefit ourselves? How can we add value to our own existence? How can we bless our energy and company and love? Okay? Light consciousness is not measured by spiritual, esoteric, or academic knowledge. It is measured by the degree to which love flows through us into the world. That's a big statement. Whew. Embodiment. It's the embodiment piece. So these are all your questions, and maybe we can talk about in the chats ways in which you're not sure you're showing up right and you want to improve upon, and or things that you've done to help yourself embody more. There's a lot to talk about here. So as we stand in this sacred moment and portal of summer solstice 2026, with the way everything's aligned, may we remember that same light shining, and even if it's cloudy, it's still bright out. We have that shining light within ourselves. May we allow that light to illuminate our thoughts, soften our hearts, and guide our actions. May we recognize the divine light in ourselves and in every single one of us. And may we leave here committed to embodying that light consciousness within us through compassion, through courage, through service, through unconditional love. shining fully, loving deeply, and living consciously. And in doing so, becoming a living expression of the light we already are. Okay? Let's talk about this and what this means to you. So we're going to open up the chat. And Bubble Kitten says, is this why the 20th I had all the energy yesterday, was vulnerable? Yes. Reflective day. Yes. 100% yes. I'm going to add to that and say the Schumann resonance has been off the hook. And there were some solar flares reported, which affects our energy. We are very connected to everything that is. So all of that stuff is incorporated into our healing journey. Thank you. That's a great question. Let's see. What else do we have? I'm looking. But the this is really catch up this afternoon. Yes, Bubble Kittens. We can tap into that light from sort, that energy of light. So the sun isn't the source, but we can tap into that same light consciousness energy, that source of creation, because the sun is also a creation from that same central source. There's on the metaphysical and spiritual practices level, there's the sun, there's a central sun, there's like levels of stuff. So understand creation itself is what you're tapping into when you feel that beam of light column and that love surround you when you're doing your meditations and stuff like that, and you're calling that in. But yes, that energy is what you're tapping into. So it affects some more than others based on your level of awareness and healing. So when you're more sensitive, you're a little further along in your healing journey, and you've made some connect the dots and connected more with yourself and connected more with the interconnectedness. You're at your own level and journey, but those that are unaffected are are disconnected. Let's put it that way, to a certain degree. You might be slightly connected in some ways, but not in others. So like the healing journey really creates a deeper connection. And you guys are on the healing journey. So we're going to be affected more than others sometimes. And other people are going to be closed off. Everyone's on their own timeline, remember, and everyone's tuned in differently. So we look like light brights, yeah. Except there's no pegs. And thank you for the reminder. There might be a purge of some kind before or after or during or whatever, because that happens too with all these energetic shifts. But how can we embody for ourselves more deeply this light consciousness? Are we showing up in the ways that honor our empowered sovereign state of being, which is that embodying your light consciousness unapologetically and unafraid? So tell me what you've done lately that's fearless, that was like out of your comfort zone, because that is a great example of how we're embodying our light consciousness. Just doing stuff that we're afraid of, that we're doing it courageous. Words are hard. Courageously. Whilst you're afraid. Cash Angel says, I have no idea how I can be a service or at means to anyone lately. Guess I expected I would be able to be more. Now I'm just doing the old me. Your expectations need to be thrown out the window, because you have to trust the process. Just like things take time and life has to unfold, you have to be consistent with how you show up and in service, and make sure that you're in service in the right areas. Are you in service to not your community? That means, are you giving folks who are not as aware and understanding as you are more energy than they are reciprocating? Remember, there has to be balance. Finding your community that accepts and receives you and can reciprocate is important. So it's kind of a turnoff when you're not yielding any results, but understand, if you're communicating to and serving the right people that's resonating with you and in frequency match with you, and you're releasing your expectations of how it's going to unfold for them and how you're going to receive that reciprocation, you are going to see a difference. Okay. So give yourself a chance to align first and then see it, but be consistent with how you show up and being yourself and being authentic and being of compassion and love and openness and consideration. Expectations create resistance, and you don't see what you want. So you get turned off and you just decide, fuck it. Oop, there's another $1. But give yourself a chance. Okay. We've got Bubble Kitten says, it's so much easier for me to show grace to others than myself. Even my primary doc told me to give myself more grace because I've been so frustrated with my floppy foot. So on that note, I'm going to go woo-woo here. Remember, the body is a heck of a lot more dense. We do have the ability to heal ourselves. There's plenty of look, you can cut a paper cut heals. You have physical evidence that your body can heal. You can also rewire your brain, and you can also heal emotional trauma. Okay, so we are wired to heal. However, we are spirit beings in human form. This is a meat suit. We are the avatar. This is a biological meat suit that we are wearing. Understanding that and understanding the body is really dense in order to keep us here on this plane of existence. I'm going really woo-woo today. Holy crap. Wait, listen, we're getting the woo-woo questions. Okay, I'm going to answer them. Understand that your body is a lot slower. Be patient. Expectations create resistance and create disappointment. Stop expecting your body to go faster than it can. Stop expecting the journey to be faster than it can. Life has to unfold. And make sure you're aligned with doing the things that are helpful and assistant and supportive of your healing journey. Because, myself included, sometimes we get lazy with our self-care, okay? And then we fall off wagons of self-care. So we do need to take this like a vehicle. If we don't change the oil, we're going to blow the engine. It's the same thing with our hearts and our minds. If we don't keep giving ourselves new information and exercising our neuroplasticity, our brain cells are just going to sit there and be like, all right, we're in NPC mode now. We're just existing as robots. And then we end up reverting back to the programming. Okay. I don't want you to get frustrated with yourself. JC Cage says, with the flip side becoming a people pleaser and drown in expectations that we haven't the energy to meet. Wait, I'm not sure I understand that. Would the flip side becoming a people pleaser and drown in the expectations that okay, gotcha. Well, a people pleaser is keeping you in that stuckness. You're not really embodying your light consciousness in people pleaser mode. You're self-betraying and self-sacrificing. So the light conscious energy is requiring you or asking you, inviting you to lovingly and with more ease step into your fullness, which means setting boundaries, saying no, and being okay with being a villain in a lot of people's stories, because people pleasers get a bad rap. It's your fault that everything goes wrong because you create spoiled brats around you. Recovering people pleaser. When you create people who are entitled now because you gave them everything, you're going to be a villain. So just be okay with that. Be at peace with being a villain in other people's story. That's why I say find your community. You have to resonate with people. Can you explain how the light show of these celebrations aren't cinematically extraordinary? What the heck does that mean? Can you explain how the light show of these celebrations aren't? Explain what that means, because I'm not sure I understood that question. Sorry. Listen, I'd rather answer what I'm supposed to than try to guess. I'm reading also while that's happening. I'm reading this one too. Cinder Kittens. Oh, here we go. People have the expectation of something magical appearing or during a solstice celebration. No, it doesn't necessarily have to work that way. And again, that's your level of conscious awareness of and connectedness, which increases as you do your emotional healing journey and connect with your heart-centered space. The experience isn't necessarily physical either, because you have your third eye and your experiences sometimes are in a different vibration, which you have access to in your own little radar here that connects to that signal, and you see it in your mind's eye. Sometimes there are physical representations of things and experiences that are part of spirits communicating with you to acknowledge and validate your experience. Okay, so it works together. Might it be some magical big phenomenon? No, but I will tell you to expand your knowledge on all kinds of ancient sites across the globe, because we lost our knowledge somewhere along the line, and there are grids set up that are set up for the solstices, and are set up on specific places on the planet that have energetic capacity. So you can Google all that fun information if it interests you. So there is things that impact the intensity of the experience, and based on your awakenedness and awareness and interconnectedness with all that is, your ability to see and how you experience and how you interpret what you're experiencing in the physical plane is going to vary. I hope that answered it. That was a full-on woo-woo answer. Yes, the ley lines, there's vortices, there's portals, there's specific locations around the planet. Usually there's an ancient site, the pyramids, Stonehenge. Go do some lovely, wonderful homework and enjoy. Happy learning. There's a lot of information out there. And I always have a rule. If it is not repeated in the same way from 5 different accredited sources, take it with a grain of salt. And I accredit it in all ways. I'm not talking about just an organization or a corporation or a company. I don't always trust that. I trust long-standing, accurate information, even from individuals who are sharing this in an alternative manner. Okay, so it's all encompassing of all information. You discern. Okay, but you have to have at least 5 across the board of multiple sources to validate and verify certain things. Okay, about sites, because there's a lot of information that's like, Cinder Kittens is asking, how do I surpass agoraphobia using energy shields? The way you surpass agoraphobia is going to be in here. The energy shields are tools to assist you. They're not going to do, nothing does the work for you. Let's make that abundantly clear across the board. The one and only thing that truly, genuinely moves you forward is your own healing, your own connectedness with your heart, your self-love, the level of love that you have for yourself in alignment with unconditional love and compassion that promotes your healing and moves you through the fears, because agoraphobia is the fear of leaving the house, but it's not about leaving the house. It's about what you're experiencing and the overstimulation that you experience outside the house. So master the fear and empower yourself through the fear that, and learn how to navigate through the overstimulation, because as a neurodivergent, I know you're not neurodivergent, you do have a brain and a nervous system that is wired way more sensitive to so many things on this planet. So of course you feel like it's a wave of way too much. Understand yourself and your needs and learn the tools that are going to assist you. Energetic field is one of the tools. There's plenty of tools. Like I wear pretty rocks. I do energetic things. I make mantras. So do research and do what resonates with you. I tune myself every day. I cleanse myself every day. Like there's so many things out there for you to work with. The healing is the most important piece, because that creates a stable, steady foundation for continuous and sustainable evolution that increases your stamina, your strength, your endurance, and your ability to move through that stimulation. Cinder Kitten says, that makes sense. I just don't understand what stops me. I feel without my past, I have nothing, and without nothing, I'll cease to exist. And I don't know how to conquer that phobia. So most fears are based on an absence of love. In what ways did you not get any support? In what ways are you still not supported? In what ways are you made to feel fear? In what ways were you programmed to be afraid of how things felt instead of allowing yourself to adjust to different energies? A lot of times when I go into circumstances and situations that are really overstimulating, I have to integrate into that energy. There's breathing exercises that I do. There's the mental work of I am safe, I am healthy, I am protected, and I am going to observe what I am picking up on instead of absorbing it and holding it inside. So the first thing you need to do is get yourself some genuine loving support who is going to be your pep talker through your first step outside that door, or further if you've already gotten that far. Support is required. We're human beings that need to be, we are interconnected. The love and care that we have for each other is kind of what we need in order to pull us through certain aspects of our experience. You don't have to do this alone. It's overwhelming, and it seems like Mount Everest when you're doing it by yourself. You can help yourself, pep talk yourself to that point, and have a support system that's going to be with you, arm in arm, to do it with you, to help you know that you are protected and safe, okay? And to help you walk through and navigate the energy blast that you get from being in an external circumstance and learning how to protect yourself and shield yourself in different ways as tools. Does that help? I'm reading this too. Cinder Kittens, I see you continuing. You're saying that my family controls me a lot. Where are you? Not ready to lose family if you have to put your boundary down. Yeah. That's tough. It is. It's really challenging when individuals are not respectful of your autonomy. And that might be an approach with your family. And the approach might be, I understand that those are your beliefs, and I understand that those things worked for you, but they don't align with me or my needs. And if I allow myself to make you comfortable and follow your expectations of me, I'm making myself uncomfortable. And I need you to allow me to have the autonomy as an adult to decide what is, how to protect my needs and how to take care of my own needs. Something to that effect, because I don't know what the exact dynamics are. And you know what I mean? Does that help? I hope that helps. Okay. Bubble Kitten says, is there a way to use this energy to make shadow work easier? The healing journey makes the shadow work way easier. Loving yourself, compassion towards yourself, grace for yourself, empowering yourself is what makes the shadow work easier, because we're not shaming ourselves for feeling this shadow. We're not shaming ourselves for making these decisions in the past. We're not holding ourselves to who we were in the past. Who we were in the past was based on the environment, the what we learned, the experiences that we had, what was surrounding us, all stemming from our programming, our conditioning, our exposure to culture, society, religion. We aren't our experiences. We are not defined by what we went through and what happened to us. We are so not defined by our past experiences. Why are we letting that dictate who we choose to become moving forward? And I know this is rolling back to or circling back to something that was brought up earlier in the questions. So embodying our light consciousness means living in the present, being present with who we are right now. Who am I right now and who do I want to be? What aspects are holding me back? How am I not embodying my light consciousness? In other words, your highest potential, who you truly are, your authentic self, your truth, your highest truth. If you're not embodying your highest truth yet, because you're still working on your shadow, focus on the love that you have for yourself. Focus on how you love yourself. Focus on why you love yourself. Focus on how loving yourself feels. Focus on the gratitude that you bring into your own space and the compassion, the depth of your compassion for yourself. What you were taught and programmed and trained to give away so freely, you're allowed to give yourself permission to receive from yourself too. Give yourself permission to receive from yourself. We can always step into the energies that are constantly flowing. We decide what we are going to absorb, right? Some things do sneak into your field. We do decide everything that we absorb. Some things are going to sneak in, though, which is why I do the practices that I do, which is why you need the shielding practices and the protection practices. Whatever resonates with you, I don't care. The world is huge. The globe has billions of people, and every culture across the globe has their own wonderful, unique, powerful modalities and methods and techniques. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, align yourself with your truth. And your intention is strengthened by whatever practice you maintain, okay? The more tools in your toolbox, because different energies might make you feel like, well, you know what, I feel like this needs that practice. Okay, go for it. You're in the driver's seat. You choose what you experience. You choose what you absorb. And if you're still aligning with reacting and not responding with clarity, if you're still getting sucked into people pleaser behaviors, then that will affect your experience. Insert cup here, the poop cup. Remember, the energy that goes where the focus is. So that's where you need to make sure that you're focusing on what is aligned with your heart-centered space and your love and compassion. I'm not saying that shit doesn't happen around you. I'm not saying the world is easy. Some of us live through hell. Some of us are continuing to live through hell. That being said, understanding that part of that is setting those hard boundaries. Part of that is putting your foot down. Do you have to do it in a way that's level on their resonance? No, you don't. You can do it in a way that they don't understand, which means you're going to look like the villain in some people's story. Unconditional love and compassion is really, really challenging to argue with. You're going to get pushback. You're just going to get pushback. But believe me, when you remain steadfast and when you're steady in that love and compassion and light inside of you, when you show up for people, don't match their energy. I hate that that's been popular on the internet. Do not ever match someone else's energy. You have your own. What is your light? What is your energy? How do you want to show up? Because you are showing someone else what needs love in their life. And sometimes that's irritating to them because that's bursting their bubble and their delusion of everything's fine. It's okay. Okay? Of course you're bursting their bubble. Their conditioning, they don't have the awareness of yet. You do. So don't choose to level with yourself with them. Instead, your energy has to maintain at a loving, compassionate vibration. You can communicate with truth, relevance, and kindness, and facts about the love and compassion and the perspective that you have within you. That means about yourself. Forget your frustration when communicating with family. The frustration is because you're expecting them to understand you and they can't. They come from your expectations of them having the capacity to reach where you're at. Okay? Bubble kittens. Being a generational cycle breaker, having to go through all the crazy and hell constantly, I'm learning how to do things differently. I'm so grateful I found y'all to help. Oh, thank you, Bubble Kittens. I'm so grateful y'all are here. Thank you so, so much. It means a lot to me to know that it's impactful. We're all going through this, and we all have to go through this in our own very unique way based on our own life path. So my sharing my knowledge and Micah sharing his knowledge is just a part. The radio station doing what it's doing is a part of us creating community so that we can help each other and safely, lovingly. Let me see. I'm seeing some funny stuff here, but I'm trying to. We're going to bypass over that. This is a great solstice to work on not taking things personally. Yes, absolutely. When we take things personally, remember, we're in our ego. That's our pride. That's not pride in ourselves. That's, I'm not seen as enough. I'm not seen as worthy. I'm not seen as good enough or seen as my value, my assetness. You know what I mean? So like, that's what that is. Taking things personally doesn't make sense to me. Now, I was one that took things personally and got deeply offended. Now it's very hard to offend me. I want to say that because to embody your light consciousness, you cannot live in your ego. You cannot react. You have to pause and you have to process and practice that conscious awareness of self. What do I tell myself? What am I believing? Why do I feel this way? Somewhere you were disrespected. However, I need to ask you to ask yourself, I was disrespected. Why? Did I train them to disrespect me based on my people pleasing? Did I train them to disrespect me because I never put my needs on the priority list? You're missing a need when you're taking things personally. Now, what takes to offend me is if I tell you what my needs are, you agree to them, and you keep showing up the way I told you does not resonate with me and does not align with me. There's only so many times going to repeat that. I might repeat it 3-4 times, but that's it. I'll give you grace, but that's it. Then I got to step back. I know where you're at. I'm not going to take it personally because I'm watching you. I understand that it takes time for me to see you and for you to show me who you are. We can all say that we're these wonderful things, but how we're received and perceived by others doesn't always match how we see ourselves, because sometimes it's hard for us to see the shadow because we so deeply want to believe that we're the best person on the planet. We are, but we also have faulty programming. So separate the two. You're okay. You're going to survive not taking it personally. You don't have to take anything personally. You are your own sovereign person. Everyone's in their own little friggin' bubble world. You ain't got to have the same perspectives. You just have to remain true to you. Okay. What else do we have? We have, how do I love myself when there is no I? Loving yourself is the act of getting to know yourself and getting to know who you are. Society and the patriarchal system and the misogynistic system that we live in, the system itself is broken. Religion, culture, the society, it's all rigged for us to sacrifice ourselves as females. Sometimes the men are programmed that way. But in their own way, like both of us have suffered in this system that we live in. Knowing that it's a systemic issue, you're going to understand very clearly it's going to be surrounding you because everyone's got that programming. The difference is we're making the change. We're deciding to do the most radical, freaking rebellious shit on the planet, loving ourselves. Woo! What a concept. If we're meant to affect change around us, we're meant to embody it. So that means identifying those aspects of you that you need to love more deeply, which means you have to find out who the heck you are. That's why the conscious awareness, and that's why the analyzing everything. That's why the asking yourself all the questions. How do I really feel about this? Do I really like this? Right down to your underwear and deodorant. I don't care. Does that really speak? This is me. Try everything on like a pair of pants. If it don't fit, move on to the next thing. If it works for a while, but then you realize you're learning something new from someone who's at a different space and place who you trust, by all means, please expand and level up. Okay. I continuously learn about myself through the eyes of others. I have some trusted people in my community that when they see something in me, I welcome them to tell me, because they tell me with love and compassion, with the utmost care. And that to me is golden, because I want to know what things that I don't see in myself that I need to work on. I need to be seen, good and bad. Don't wear the bully's mask. That's right. Embodying our light requires us to live in that unconditional love and compassion, first and foremost, for ourselves, because we can't find out who we are and learn our truth if we don't first have that compassion towards ourselves and release ourselves from all judgment. It is expressed through non-judgment. Okay. And I want to see if I can put that how it's expressed list up real quick. I might have it. Let's see if I can do this. I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try. Because this applies to everyone for every reason. Did it work? Okay. This is how you have to show up for yourself, first and foremost, with unconditional love, with compassion, with forgiveness, with service, with humility, with wisdom, with non-judgment, and the recognition of the divine in all of us. The recognition of the divine in all of us is to remind you, even the asshole is on his own journey. Even the jerk is on her own journey. Whoever, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have these people in our lives because we're all part of the same broken system. It's up to us to break free from that system. We're all doing the generational work. Part of it is enacting that live in action now. Family dynamics are the hardest, I think, because they're our origin family, right? So our origin family is going to create, out of love, a limited idea of love, these expectations, judgments, slathering you with what they think you need to be doing and how you need to be doing and why you're doing everything wrong and why don't you just listen to them? Oof, so annoying. Take your power back. Your light consciousness within you and this energy is giving you an opportunity to do that lovingly, with support, with energetic support, with spiritual support, with your spirit team. Invoke your spirit team. You know, I just learned recently how to set up an ancestral altar, and I'm still learning. I actually have to, message the person, be like, did I do it right? Because everything has a foundation. Practice other techniques and practices in their origin technique, and then personalize it for you. So you have to start somewhere. So I'm trying to connect more deeply with my own ancestors, my grandparents, my immediate family. Okay. Our immediate family isn't always shit when they get on the other side. They're still, their energy transforms, and now they have full knowledge, the knowledge that was hidden from them in this timeline as a human, because they weren't meant to awaken. They weren't meant to question. Okay. So now we're like, we got to give back. So I'm trying to deepen just learn new shit. Just learn new shit. Learn new shit and know you're on your own journey, and it's okay that everybody's not coming with you. Family part's the hardest because you don't want to lose the connection. So love them from a distance, love them with extreme boundaries, and love them without absorbing and implementing, internalizing their beliefs about you and their expectations of you. Release, because that's the root of your own self-judgment and your own self-expectations and your own resistance and self-sabotage. This energy here is an opportunity to shift the dynamic and the paradigm for you. You have permission to embody yourself in your fullest light with love and compassion. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because this could go. So wait, maybe one more. Hold on. Reading this Bubble Kittens, and we can end it here. My dad confided in me before he passed that he had the knowing and told me a lot of what he knew about me and what I'm to step into. Why he waited, I don't know. He waited because he wasn't prepared to have that conversation. But when you're at death's door, it's kind of like, well, it's now or never. So a lot of times you don't have the tools. He may not have had the tools, and he may have had fear to express those things to you. That's okay. He was able to tell you, and I think that's beautiful. That's part of your healing, and I hope that helps you in your healing on some level. But the idea here is continue your healing journey so that you can embody that light consciousness fully and completely. Okay? Oh my God, you guys are amazing. And this went more woo-woo than I expected. And I'm so happy about that because I love the woo. Thank you all so much. Today is Monday, so catch Brindle's Vision tonight. And then tomorrow there's a lineup. And Wednesday we've got the part 2 of the bullying. Don't bully yourself. Your light consciousness is telling you, stop bullying yourself, okay? Non-judgment. And then whatever else we have, you'll see, check Embers of Light and find me on healingrose.org and all of the social medias. And I love you all so, 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 so much. So much. Go love yourself.
From the soil of your sorrow, petals from pain, new color in tomorrow. You walk through the dark with a soft, steady truth, holding your heart till your heart carries you. This is the blue. This is the blue.
Hey, this is Brindle Wolf. You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action, with programs to spark your growth, lift your spirits, and help you rise into your potential. Rise Awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken and climb. Rise Awakenings, now is the time. Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.